Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Hello once again everybody. I'm your host Jonathan Clarke here to discuss all things Descendants and Zombies once again for everybody who are fans of Descendants and Zombies, because I've always and forever wanted to honor you. I've always and forever wanted to be here because of you, because you guys made Jonathan Clarke on YouTube who Jonathan Clarke on YouTube is today. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support that you've shown this YouTube channel, and hopefully we'll continue to show this YouTube channel for the foreseeable future, because heading into that future, we have a lot of unpredictable things to get to. We don't know what's going to happen in Descendants 5 Wonderland, which makes it so much more fun than ever before, perhaps, to be fans of Descendants and Zombies. So all I've ever wanted to do on this YouTube channel was give you hope for the foreseeable future, because everybody is shutting down your hopes and dreams when it comes to critics on YouTube about Descendants and Zombies, and I've never ever wanted to do that. I've just wanted to be here because of you, because I know you are fans of Descendants and Zombies, and I know what it's like to be a fan of Descendants and Zombies and be so excited for the new chapter. So excited because of the new characters, so excited because of the new story, and because of what you think is going to happen. Because what you think is going to happen at the end of every single conversation, at the end of every single day, is what matters. And I don't ever want you guys to forget that, because you guys are what's so special. You guys are what makes Descendants and Zombies happen, and you guys are the reason why Red and Chloe exist. And because you are the reason why Red and Chloe exist, because of love and support that you've shown Red and Chloe over this last 2 years, it has been an incredible journey that you girls have had me on for forever. And I've just wanted to honor you. I've just wanted to upload the best videos ever for people who love Descendants and Zombies, because I too am just as excited about the future of Descendants and Zombies as each and every one of you. Thank you so much for having made this YouTube channel such a huge success, so popular amongst so many different age demographics. I never ever thought this YouTube channel would explode in popularity the way that it has. And I honestly never thought I'd be here a year and a half later, still talking about Descendants and Zombies, and so excited as each and every one of you about Descendants 5 Wonderland, because I honestly thought this YouTube channel was just a hit or miss. I honestly thought my voice would never be heard, or I'd never be seen or heard from again. But you guys made it all happen for me, because it happened with just 5 subscribers subscribing to this YouTube channel over a year ago. And one morning I woke up with like 500 subscribers, and I didn't even know I had 500 subscribers until I checked it, and I was blown away by it. The undeniable love and support that I've received for this YouTube channel since the very first video that was ever uploaded here was truly incredible to me, and I can't even begin to put into words how appreciative I am of each and every one of you, so I will spare you the pain of having to do that, but just know that you forever and always have held a special place in my heart, and you have forever and always deserved respect and dignity and to be honored for everything that you have felt about Descendants and Zombies over the last year, because this last year has been an incredible journey that we have all been on and that we've all shared in together. I have never wanted to create this YouTube channel because I wanted to be famous. I wanted to create this YouTube channel and make it happen because of you. Because girls used to show up at my door every year dressed up as their favorite characters from Descendants, trying to get me to guess who they were. No matter if they were Red, Chloe, Mal, Evie, Bridget, whoever they were. If they had a favorite song, if they had a favorite moment, it was just so cool being a part of it. And just seeing the Worlds Collide tour receive so much publicity this summer was exactly what I wanted to see happen for the entire tour. And now Freya Sky is going on tour. She's got tour dates up on FreyaSky.com. Kylie Control's got concert dates posted as well. So they've got a lot happening for them outside of Descendants, and this is exactly what I wanted to see happen for them, because I think that the more publicity they receive, the better it's going to be for them, because they have seen their fair share of criticism. And to be honest with each and every one of you, I'll tell you a secret. It really breaks my heart when somebody 20 years old is being criticized when they're just simply trying to figure out their place in the world. And I know these videos sound very different and are presented very different from every other Descendants video or YouTube channel that you see on this platform every single day. But the reason why I do it this way is because nobody knows how to commentate on Descendants and Zombies. Nobody knows how to break down their favorite songs the way that I do. Because Legends in the Making really helped me put into perspective how I wanted to go down in history one time in my lifetime, at a certain point in my lifetime, as the greatest of all time. And I thought it was the most powerful song on the Zombie soundtrack, because it really allowed me to put my life into perspective, because my life undeniably led me to each and every one of you and this opportunity. Because I not only got to talk about Descendants and Zombies, but I got to meet each and every one of you who were so passionate about Descendants and Zombies. And to commentate on Descendants and Zombies is one way of perceiving it. But to experience it with each and every one of you who are so passionate about who and what you believe in is an entirely different experience, and I have each and every one of you to thank for that, because I never knew how powerful Descendants of Zombies was until people were trying to emphasize to me just how much of a touch Descendants of Zombies had on their lives, because it had a significant touch. Nobody will ever forget the experience they had being a fan of Descendants of Zombies, because it became a global phenomenon. It was undeniably something that started as a whisper that nobody ever wanted to take much of a chance on. Disney just kind of came up with this concept and put it in front of us, and they were waiting on us to respond to it. And once we did, we blew it up. And because we blew it up, I think that dolls were capitalized on, merch was capitalized on, revenue was capitalized on, and critics capitalized on it. I had no issues with the revenue and the merch because it was gorgeous. The dolls were beautiful. The music was incredible. The story was mind-blowing. But I had every issue in the world with every critic who took full advantage of criticizing Descendants of Zombies, because they knew that you loved these stars. They knew you loved Nova. They knew you loved Mel. They knew you loved Red. Whoever you were a fan of, they took full advantage of. And I have heard so many stories about Dove Cameron, more especially, that have broken my heart, about her relationship with Ryan McCartan, Thomas Doherty, and I think a lot of it had to do with the rumors, because they didn't know how to really talk about it. Because the thing is, without giving anything a chance, you're just pretty much criticizing something without even knowing anything about it. I mean, regardless of how people felt about Dove Cameron, that did not take away from all of her contributions. That did not mean that she wasn't a great person. And then I saw videos of Kylie Cantrell about a year and a half ago crying on YouTube. I think it was around February of 2024. She was crying because she couldn't make sense of her own life, because of how people felt about her. And I thought it was completely unnecessary and uncalled for. And I just wanted Kylie Cantrell to know that she was loved. And she was supported by millions of people. And I don't care really if I have to upload 500 videos until Kylie Cantrell sees every single one of them virtually. Because I honestly believe that Kylie Cantrell is far more talented and deserves to be credited far more than she ever has been. Even if that means I have to upload 500 videos every day for the rest of my life. Because I have dedicated the rest of my life to talking about Descendants of Zombies. And so too was the story of Zombies. I mean, Zed and Addison, all they ever wanted was to achieve acceptance. And all they ever wanted to do was be together. And we never saw that from any other Disney franchise, no matter what one we're talking about, Hannah Montana, High School Musical, Phineas and Ferb, and beyond. We never even saw it in franchises like Toy Story and The Lion King, with how beautiful stories they were from the 1990s. 1995 was a big year for Disney. Of course, they were turning the corner. They were coming out with computer animated movies like Toy Story and everything that followed after, like A Bug's Life. I mean, Hercules. Everything was just so incredible. The animation just got better, but did you ever see a powerful story like Descendants of Zombies? In terms of live action, I don't think so. I think that more people fell in love with this franchise than ever before than High School Musical, ever before than Hannah Montana. Because I think that if you take the music out of High School Musical and Hannah Montana, then you really haven't got much of a backstory to fall back on. I think if you have a powerful musical, you have to have just as powerful of a story to carry it through. And Descendants of Zombies was the first one in, dare I say, 15 years to do it. Because I'd be lying to you if I told you I wasn't inspired by Descendants of Zombies, if I didn't come away from it feeling special and better than what I did. Because the thing about Descendants of Zombies was Descendants of Zombies made us all feel happy. And we were happier because of Descendants of Zombies. We were the best of friends because of Descendants of Zombies. More friendships happened because we saw ourselves through the eyes of these characters, and we felt inspired, and we felt stronger, and we felt like we could accomplish more than what we ever did before. I think from the very first opening song of The Rise of Red, it really set a tone. It really, changed our perspective on the entire Descendants franchise, because we had never heard music like this before, and we had never seen a story with Alice in Wonderland characters and Cinderella characters. And this is coming from a guy who had a greater appreciation for Cinderella and Alice in Wonderland years ago. This is coming from a guy who can talk about Alice in Wonderland for hours, because I thought the Queen of Hearts perfectly fit into this story. She fulfilled her purpose of being annoying. I remember how they specifically created the original Queen of Hearts character to be annoying, and she fulfilled her destiny. She wanted to be an annoying Disney villain, and she got the opportunity to do it, along with creating and presenting a beautiful story about Alice's curiosity to sometimes got the better of her, but I think Red has learned from that story because Alice's curiosity kind of spun off into Red because she's just as curious and she's just as fulfilled now because of what happened in The Rise of Red, although there are consequences of time travel for everybody's actions, and I think that we're going to see that more than ever before in the Rise of Red sequel, the Wicked Wonderland movie coming up in July of 2026, which I am really excited about. I can talk about this for forever. I really believe that Ruby Rose Turner's story is far from over, and I think it should be completed, but completed in the way that Ruby wants to tell it, which is why forever I will advocate for more creative freedom to be given to these stars and shown to them, because if you give them creative freedom, they can distribute the character the way they want to. There's nothing worse. There's no worse feeling in the world than distributing a character the way Disney wants to perceive you. This happy-go-lucky girl. What if she's feeling sad? What if she's feeling down on her luck? I think there's always, conflict and controversy that ascends in storylines, and I think that if we saw every emotion experienced by every character, fearlessness, happiness, sadness, I think it would make it a story that would be more worth watching and more excited to be a part of, because everybody was excited to be a part of The Rise of Red. I just think they wanted more out of the story, because I always believed that you just couldn't tell a story in 90 minutes and complete it, because you really couldn't. I mean, in 90 minutes, it's just, 30 minutes of the first half hour of the movie is pretty much just to introduce us to who the characters were. It didn't give us much of a chance to see much of a backstory or to experience much. I think the music really brought it to life, but I think there could have been more of a story. And I think that if the Wicked Wonderland movie provides us with an opportunity now, a platform, if anything, to see more of a story and to give more predictions and more thoughts and to share our predictions and thoughts with more fans, because conversations at an all-time high. The engagement level on the social pages for Descendants are off the charts, which means it's an indication to me that everybody is so excited about Descendants and what's going to happen next, regardless of what characters we see from Princess and the Frog and Encanto drawing inspiration from those classics. I have to be honest with you, the Princess and the Frog musical was one animated musical featuring Tiana, the first black princess in Disney history, which was cool. I loved it. I loved the vibe of it. So seeing characters inspired by Princess and the Frog and possibly Encanto is a wonderful experience. And I think that it's going to offer more of a positive vibe to Descendants. The thing about Descendants you got to realize is there is so much of an opportunity to create new storylines and so much of an opportunity to present us with new characters. It doesn't have to just focus on, say, Red and Chloe or Mal and Evie from the past. It can create new storylines by introducing new characters. Like, there's a greater appreciation yet to be seen, I do believe, from Aladdin and Jasmine. And I may just be saying this because I am a huge fan of Aladdin and Jasmine, and I've become somewhat of an advocate for Aladdin and Jasmine. But when you really think about it, Aladdin and Jasmine had a beautiful story in the original Aladdin trilogy from 1992 up until at least 1997. You had Aladdin, Aladdin Return to Jafar, and Aladdin the King of Thieves. And I think that, up until that point that they got married in that trilogy, I think there were still so many unanswered questions about Aladdin and Jasmine, even with how far they had taken it. Linda Larkin and, Alexander, they did a great job with that story, but I think there were still so many unanswered questions from that story that could be a part of the Descendants franchise that we could get answered. It may have taken us 30 years from now, but the thing is, I think there are still so many unanswered questions. And the thing about Aladdin's story was it was just so captivating, and there were many, many reasons why I was a fan of the Aladdin story. Everything from the video game to the Aladdin merch fit perfectly with what I was growing up idolizing, being a fan of Disney, and I've been a part of everything. I just think there is a greater appreciation to be seen from these characters that we have not seen. Like, I have forever wanted to see Hercules be a part of this franchise. If there was one character that I would forever advocate for to be a part of the Descendants franchise, it would have to be Hercules. More characters from The Little Mermaid or others. Toy Story even. Stitch. There are so many opportunities to create with this, and some of these characters may seem unrealistic to be a part of this franchise, but if you actually consider putting Stitch into the franchise, at least it would give Freya Sky an opportunity to work with her spirit animal. And I think that with Disney being worth $158 billion of revenue, correct me if I'm wrong, they can do that for you guys. They can give you what you want. And I think that if Disney listened to the fans more than what they were, I think this would be a far better production. I really do, because you guys are some of the smartest fans in the world, and you know who and what you love. Forever you've loved Red. I mean, everyone wants the red doll. Everyone wants the red costume for Halloween. So to say that Kylie Control is not living up to the criteria or the standard of a Mal character character would kind of be jumping to a formidable conclusion. And that's one thing that I've never standed to be able to do. I think that if you give them more of a chance, if you give them more of an opportunity, their stars will shine brighter than ever before, and we can all be excited to be a part of something in the foreseeable future, because there is an undeniable future for Descendants of Zombies, and I'm just excited to be a part of it. And the response that I've received for this YouTube channel has been nothing short of incredible. You guys have been very supportive of every video that I've uploaded, and I just want to take this moment to say thank you so much for all the love and support that you've shown this YouTube channel, that I can only hope that you're going to show for the foreseeable future, because there is still so much of a story yet to be told. And because there is so much more of a story yet to be told, there are so many things we could predict, there are so many things we could discuss, and I think that, living near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could explode at any given moment is definitely well worth it, and I think that it's a whole lot of fun. In all honesty, if I had to upload videos about Descendants of Zombies for the rest of my life, even if that's what that means, I have no problem doing it, because I've touched the hearts of millions of people with these videos, and hopefully I've inspired you to continue on with your own life, no matter how difficult it may be, because I know sometimes everybody is faced with a challenge, everybody can't make sense of their own life, but the thing is, the friends that come into our lives are very important, and they're more important than perhaps we ever give them credit for, because they are there for us every step of the way. Kind of like how Red and Chloe's story was very important to the rise of Red. Even though a lot of people really didn't take the story a whole lot serious, because of course it wasn't about Mal, it wasn't about Evie, and they missed the original cast. The people who did give Red and Chloe a chance to, hear their story and witness their story being brought forth, fell in love with this franchise very quickly. And I know a lot of people felt very differently about the rise of Red, but the people who gave it a chance turned it into a global phenomenon, and that's why the Worlds Collide Tour received so much publicity and really got over. And so many people love the rise of Red. It just isn't one age demographic. There are people up as high as 17 years old who love the rise of Red. So you guys deserve all the credit in the world for actually taking a chance on a franchise that nobody ever thought was going to amount to anything. Because a lot of people looked at this as if saying, okay, Mal and Evie are no longer a part of this, Carlos is no longer a part of it, so why are we watching it? We're watching it because we're just diehard fans of Descendants of Zombies, and we want to see the best experience ever watching Descendants of Zombies. We just want to have fun. And I'm here to tell you guys there is nothing wrong with being a fan of Descendants of Zombies. If you are a fan of Descendants of Zombies for the foreseeable future and want to be a fan of Descendants of Zombies for the rest of your life, then I have no issues with that. And I think it's cool. I think the Descendants franchise is cool, because I've been involved with every major stage production when it comes to high school stage productions that you can think of, from Phantom of the Opera to Beauty and the Beast to The Lion King to Aladdin. I've seen them all. And I think that there is a greater appreciation to be had by fans from all walks of life when it comes to a franchise like Descendants, because it gives us life, and it gives us incentive, and it offers us encouragement and hope that happily ever after does actually have a chance of existing, that one can find true love, even if it is with a zombie. I have to be honest with each and every one of you. I thought the story between Zed and Addison falling in love was a beautiful story. It was a very different story from every other musical that Disney had produced, dating all the way back to High School Musical back in 2006. I believe the way they did it was they premiered the pilot episode of Hannah Montana, followed by High School Musical. And I remember how revered High School Musical became by High School Musical sequel, High School Musical 2 in 2007, with a viewership of over 17.8 million viewers. That was absolutely incredible. That was unlike anything I've ever seen in my life. But then 15 and a half years later, here comes Descendants of Zombies with such a profound impact on everybody's lives, changes our lives for the better, and I think it gave us a reason to be excited, and far more excited for the foreseeable future than we've ever been before, because Disney was really coming into its own. So should these stars be faced with so much criticism? I don't think so. I think the more love and support that we show these stars, the better off they're going to be, the more encouragement they're going to be offered, and the better performances they're going to give. I think that jumping to conclusions about these stars and the chances we're taking on them is just drawing a formidable conclusion, and that's one thing that I've never standed to be able to do. All I've ever wanted to do is sit in front of this microphone and talk about your favorite stars the way they've forever and always been deserved to be talked about, with prestige and with honor, because you guys have deserved far better videos about Descendants of Zombies than you've been seeing, and I just wanted to be that guy to give it to you guys, because there is so much of a conversation yet to be had and yet to be seen about Descendants of Zombies, and I'm just excited to be a part of it. So if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you're probably going to want to think about doing that, because I really do have a lot to say about Descendants and Zombies, and I'd just like for you to be a part of this conversation, because we still have a long way to go. There's so much of a conversation. I know that next summer feels like forever away. July 2026 feels like it's never going to come. But even though it feels like it's never going to come, you guys will forever and always have me to help you make sense of Descendants and Zombies and to offer you encouragement that Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland will happen regardless of what storylines we are presented with, what characters we see enter the franchise. It makes for a fun time to be a fan of Descendants and Zombies, and one that I'm really excited to be a part of, and to be your voice of Descendants and Zombies has been the greatest honor of my life, a destiny fulfilled, if anything, because I've always believed that everybody has a light. No matter how long it takes you to find your light, everybody does eventually find it, and this is the greatest honor of my life. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support you've shown this YouTube channel. Undeniably, life is sweeter when all of us are. If you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you are probably going to want to do that, because I have another video on the way for you later on today, which I hope you will join me for. Thank you so much for watching, and we will talk more about Descendants and Zombies in just a few hours from now, because yes, as I just said, life is really sweeter when all of us are. Thank you so very much.